Days so good to me.
Hey, it's Monday.
Medical.
Changes could be coming to Michigan's marijuana law. A new set of bills now being heard in Lansing.
Marijuana is not a drug.
And the bills would have major implications to small medical growers known as caregivers.
That's some heavy shit, man.
Small pot farmers in California say the state is not standing by its promise to protect.
Big companies were supposed to be limited, but some have stacked hundreds of licenses.
Stop hitting it so hard.
Created a cartel, essentially.
You have an industry allowing for businesses to operate like cartels.
But it's a Monday.
Harm has been done by the fact that we didn't legalize it back then.
Well, I don't know if there's any harm that's been done.
There was people getting arrested, people getting thrown in jail. I mean, that counts, doesn't it?
What kind of joint is this, man?
Smoking marijuana all in public. You would think that shit was legal. We the Pistons in the 899. Oh, bad boy.
It's just another medical.
And welcome to Medical Mondays, y'all. This is your host with the most, THC in his motherfucking bloodstream, BERG. And of course, I got my right-hand man, my co-host, but also my compadre, Adarocho. What up, though?
What up, though?
Of course, we got our returning panelist with us, Adam L. Brook, dabbing it up right now.
What's happening?
AKA Mr. Hash Bash himself.
Yeah.
And tonight's special invited guest, we got Connie and Maxim Sparrow from the Sparrow. What is it? The Sparrow Group? No, I got it wrong.
From Grams and Jams.
Grams and Jams? Oh, shit.
Fuck
Grams and Jams up in this.
What's up? I missed you guys. I'm not gonna lie. I've been kind of under the radar for a little bit.
Yeah, you missed this with every bullet so far. It's cool, man.
I honestly did.
All right, before we get into anything else, I want to remind everybody to go out and get your medical marijuana card, y'all. And one of the people you can hit up is Detroit Certification Center. You can get at them at DetroitCertCenter.com, Detroit Cert Center on social media, or give them a call or text at 248-275-6707. Once again, that's 248-275-6707. And also, there's plenty of other people out there that you can get your card from. We got Pure West out west. We got Michael Thuey up north. We got GC3 and Vehicle City up in Flint. And Michigan Weedsters. What was that?
Shout out to Birds with Tui.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then, yeah, there's plenty of other people if you need to. If you really want to get your medical marijuana card and you don't know where to go, hit me and Roach up or Adam, or there's plenty of people out there that'll let you know.
If somebody asked you where to get their medical card, what would you tell them?
You know, it's really funny. I got a guy online, and it's all through Facebook Messenger. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know who he's affiliated with. I met him at and I don't know if you guys were there or not, but I met this dude at the Rooster Tail in Detroit in 2017 at a cannabis conference.
Was it THC Expo?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
we were a sponsor.
I was there. Yeah.
And so that's where we actually got our med cards, because I was like, shit, I fell into this nightmare that is cannabis, no lie, commercial space, and I better figure out what this is about, only for it to save my life. So, you know, I'm very thankful for the THC Expo, and God, I can't remember that dude's name. He's a Facebook friend, and all I do is I just reach out by DM, and then I get a virtual meeting with a doctor, and it's exceptional. Like, I'm so glad to be a med patient. It saved my life in many ways.
Hell yeah. Well, make sure everybody out there, especially if you're watching Medical Mondays, man, if you don't got a card, go out and get your card. It lets the politicians know that we're still here, and when it comes to legal matters, it'll help you out plenty in many different aspects. So, also, I want to thank everybody who came through to the Give Back yesterday. Big shout out to JSH Enterprise and Nuggeduction for putting that on. There's plenty of people who came through. Yeah, and who was it? It was Capuchin Soup Kitchen and First Step Women's Shelter.
Indeed.
So yeah, much love to them. And also, there's another event coming up next month on the 24th. Save the date. It's going to be at the same place, same time on a Sunday, the 24th. So save that date, y'all.
But this is not a give back, though, is it, Bird?
Nope, it's not a give back. So they're talking about doing a cheaper entry fee too. So stay tuned for that. More info will come on Instagram as well as here on the show. And we'll let you all know more info when it comes. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got Jared, we got Matt, we got Jenny, Justin, Amanda, Anthonier, Brandon Root, Allie, Chelsea, Kalina, and the list goes on and on, y'all. Appreciate y'all tuning in so far. If you could hit that like button.
But before we go any further, we should thank the sponsors.
Oh yeah, god damn.
Our guys suck at it too.
Thank you, Roach.
Got you, dog.
All right, man. Zoom updated, so everything's weird. So that's why the intro started with no audio, because all the buttons are switched around. And I wish I would have known this beforehand. So this is the first.
Next week's show is going to be great, though.
Oh yeah, next. All right, here we go.
Boom.
Out to Native Made 313, Michigan Turf Farms, Nuggeduction Extracts, Tiki Madman, SOB Labs, and Tree Street Packaging. Boom. All right. Anything else I forgot, Roach? No.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Native Made in the chat. Old school Dab House vibes coming.
Oh yeah. What's everybody smoking on?
Where'd it go, man? Where'd it go? Smoking on some of this blueberry sugar in the dope ass Turp Farm Infinity Jar, limited edition.
That sounds like a purpley strain.
You know, there's a lot going on with the blueberry sugar, man. Yeah.
I haven't done a lot of research. I've heard a lot of hype on it, but I really like those purple leans. Those are good strains for me, at least.
Yeah, it's definitely got blueberry in there. There's some creaminess to it, some doughy cookiness to it.
Yeah.
And like right in the middle of all of that, there's like some Welch's grape jelly on toast. You have to smoke it to understand.
You can't get mad at the purple.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a great bait, kind of sneaking in and saying hi.
Ever so subtle.
So I got some wedding pie rolled up along with the blueberry sugar. And I
Nice.
also have some original Z rolled up as well as the 8 Mile Runs. Shout out to Michigan Turf Farms as well as SOB Labs.
That's pretty cool. I like that name, 8 Mile Runs.
Yeah, big shout out to SOB, man. I got some of that Gushmint's waiting in the wings.
Dan's favorite strain.
It depends on how much talking Connie does tonight. If I smoke this whole wood and have to roll up some more, I don't know. It'll be on you. If you do a lot of talking, I'm going to do a lot of smoking. That's how it works.
Oh man, Nada Mid said she's smoking on some boo from Colorado. Damn, I'm sorry.
Oh, damn.
Eating some pot dots because Connie's had kids and it costs too much. So I'm all on my pot dots. Love them to pieces. So I prepped for this sesh. Unfortunately, I can't smoke. I've had a couple C-sections, and that's a real thing for women smokers. So I did take my edibles.
Wait a minute.
What?
Granted, I'm not a woman. I don't have the
not.
owner's manual.
You're not, Roach?
Are you
there's not a
implying?
big enough owner's manual.
Are you implying that women with C-sections can't smoke?
I'm implying any woman that has produced a child over the age of 35, or I'll even say perimenopausal like me, because I'm 45. No, we're not jumping in to take a deep dab or hit a harsh thing of weed and pee our pants in front of the whole world. Like, it's just not our thing. So you'll see a lot of us middle-aged women who have had children, and we're probably going on our edibles because it's a lot better than talking to all you D-bags and saying, oh, geez, hold on, let me run to the potty a minute. No, it's a whole ass thing. Like, I don't understand why guys don't understand.
I'm gonna start. No, wait. I want to thank you, Connie, because I'm gonna
It's
start
like a
telling
huge thing
women.
for us. It's embarrassing.
I'm gonna start telling women with children that they can't smoke with me.
Well, it's talking that causes the problem, you assholes. Like, seriously, it's a whole ass
girl,
thing.
I really like you, but I don't want you to prolapse
if you want to
off this
smoke with me,
backwood.
you gotta check in with Connie first.
Well,
Just let you guys know.
It just
Why there's
needs
a lot
both
of us
of
out
me.
there. Like, we're like, yeah, no, I'm good. I really don't want to pee my pants tonight. So no, I pre-partied. I'm good. I took 40 milligrams. Good. I promise. Hi, as hell.
Okay, the chat is backing you up.
Thank you. I
And Nada
told you
Maid's like
it's a
past
serious
that
ass
fucking
thing,
blunt.
man. And a
Nada
lot of
Maid's
dudes
like
don't
past that
understand.
blunt.
Right.
No,
See,
I
I
see
would say
people dabbing out and shit, and these women are like, oh my God, if I hit that dab, I'm gonna piss my pants in front of like 40 dudes. I can't do that. Nah, man, I'm good.
You're
And
right. We can't exclude the moms from smoking. We're just going to have to encourage them to take up a Kegel regimen. Strengthen that vaginal floor.
That's exactly right. That muscle.
I
can
love how
tighten.
that switched around on me real fast.
Well, yeah. Who you think you're dealing with here?
Welcome to Medical Mondays.
Adam, I know.
We'll send you home with a kit. Different sizes.
Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, look, Native Maid, somebody not doing their Kegel exercise.
If you got to ask
hey.
Kegel, I'm sorry.
Either way.
Anyways. Anywho,
welcome back, Connie. Welcome to Medical Mondays, the show about cannabis.
I missed you guys. I told you I missed you. There's not many people I can fuck around with like this. But I'm calling out my women in the pot smoking space as consumers, and I think it's time that people know we don't like to pee our pants. I'm just here for that. Hot dogs all the way.
And that's why I only smoke smoke weed with younger women.
I get that too, man.
Okay, that's what you can tell yourself, Adam. That's what you can tell yourself.
18 to 24. Otherwise,
Yep. Keep telling yourself that out.
So high. Anyway.
Yeah, man, the chat is going crazy. We all just did one. Yeah, promoting women's health here on Medical Mondays.
Thank you. It's a big deal.
I mean, we are Medical Mondays. Medical is in our name,
Honestly,
people.
that's why
Come
I called it
on.
out. Like, that's the reason, like, people are like, why don't you take a hit? Why won't you do the stab? I'm like, no, man, I pre-partied. And it's because I don't want to pee my pants. And I mean, I try to still be cool. I know I'm old at 45, which I'm not that old, but my kids are old. You know, it's tough for us. It's not easy. And so we do what we can. And I'm jealous of the women that haven't had kids, specifically C-sections. Because, man, I see them hitting dabs. I hear Allie's in the chat. Allie got Dan on a dab. Got him so messed up last Sunday. Dan slept on the couch for 5 hours.
Did he pee his pants from his C-section?
Yeah. Dad's pelvic floors leave something to be desired.
It doesn't exist anymore.
I can see. He's not even on camera, but I can see Dan getting red as fuck right now.
He is.
Yeah,
He's upset. He's screaming from the other room.
No, and I want to remind people that we're not doctors or gynecologists, but there's, I think, a pretty good tip here in the chat. A healthy pelvic floor is so important and normally overlooked by women who have had children. Bullet point.
Roach. True story.
Bullet point.
So thank you for letting me share that. That was actually an effort.
Yeah, no.
Make sure y'all know. We're not trying to like pussy out or anything. We would love to.
No pun intended.
No pun intended at all. Do your Kegels, ladies.
Here's to
and check your boobies. It's important.
Floors.
Look at you doing your dab.
I'm going to do one for the boobies in a minute, but this is for the pelvic floor.
There you go. We love you for that.
Here.
Adam.
Here.
All of you. My love. Look at that. We had a whole ass education session. You guys didn't even know that was going to happen.
Talking about this is Medical Mondays. People learn shit on here all the time.
I love it. I love it. There's not many places I can say that, have a real conversation with 3 dudes and be able to get away with it.
Yeah, no. We're all adults here.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Any more tips that you guys need?
Some of us had to get really high in order to be able to do this, okay?
I know, Miss. You know what, Adam? I love you for it. And I'm still working with the same broken ass phone from Cannabis last year, and I did not take your advice that you told me the first year. Always have a backup phone. You sent that to me on Facebook, and I honestly was in tears that year because it was 5 days before Cannabis, and my phone was broke, and I was losing my mind. Like, always have a backup. And I didn't even have a backup last year, and this thing is still broke.
I'd like to thank Brandon in the chat. I agree with him.
What'd he say?
That I could almost consider myself a gyno.
Yeah, but we're not giving medical advice on the show.
No.
That was the point. That was the disclaimer. Don't claim what we just disclaimed.
I might be something, but I ain't giving any advice.
Oh, man. Well, speaking of all adults.
Yes, sir.
I heard there's going to be a new adult consumption venue that includes music and alcohol?
Yes, sir.
What? What about psilocybin?
What about psilocybin? So you know what? Man, we've been sneaking weed into concerts for a long ass time. We ain't policing nothing. The problem is it's not decrimmed in Baldwin. You know that that's my next step, right? Like they're pretty open and they're pretty excited about having us in Baldwin, but let me get through this season where I'm shoving this on them. And if you don't think that psilocybin is top of mind, I microdose regularly. I mean, it's huge. It's a huge thing for me. I'm a firm believer. I think cannabis for the entry into the ability to understand that things grown from the ground are better for me than pharmaceuticals. But unfortunately, Baldwin is a very tiny community, and I just don't want to shock them that much yet.
All right.
We'll get there. I promise. I'm already shoving everything else down their throat. Well, not in that way, like in a aggressive work. Damn, I should have never mentioned the weed in vaginas. Anyway, the point is.
Oh no, we're good with that. That's not the
No, the point is that no, any municipality is going to freak out about this, right? I don't care who it is.
Well, how many?
And the laws are the laws, and the people want it, and that's the bottom line. And if you guys don't know me yet, I challenge standards. I challenge the status quo. Cannabis doesn't belong in a corner. Alcohol doesn't belong in a social district, just walking around with your kids, drinking it along the side of a community space. I think there's a space for both. And it doesn't involve anything but people loving music and me owning a concert venue and making sure that both places fit and alcohol and cannabis finally go get to have a good time. And you're not shoving alcohol down somebody's throat on Main Street while cannabis sits in the backyard. That's bullshit to me. It's not okay.
So I guess, take us to the beginning. Give us the pitch that you gave others to get into this position. How does this thing work? What's going on? What the fuck is going on here, Connie?
So I'm not gonna lie, I'll give you the honest to God truth. First year at Cannabis, we lost 30 grand, right? Yeah, no, it's fine. I'll talk to you about it. We lost 30 grand. Second year, we lost a hell of a lot more than that. The state's got us pinned in a business model that doesn't work, doesn't make sense, trying to limit all these things, trying to catch people in these gotcha efforts. And I'm just not going to tolerate it anymore. So after losing once, losing twice, and that's not a lack of attendance. First year, 8,000 people. Second year, 12,000, 56% weren't even from the Great Lakes region. It's not a lack of me trying, but it's really hard to sell concert tickets, just like Hash Bash can talk about this. Adam knows. You can't advertise an event. That there's no place for me to advertise. I had to set up a dummy website for Cannabis last year that didn't involve cannabis, which doesn't make any goddamn sense. And it was just this whole thing. And so I looked at it over 2 years and I was like, the only way that I can control the destiny of any of this is if I get my own venue and the municipality's happy to have us there. And that's what happened. And now I have leverage. Now I can have conversations. Now people can't push me around. I'm not at the behest of a municipality that didn't want me there in the first place. And the business model is broken. I feel bad for all the social equity applicants who are going after this very low price tag, right, license. There's 208 of them active right now in the state system. I don't know how many of those are social equity, and I'm one of them, but I didn't even file under social equity. I don't even have a license. I put all that risk on the dispo. I don't want any of that shit. Has anybody realized they're all in bankruptcy right now? And it's not even bankruptcy. It's straight up receivership. So I shifted all the risk over to my partners, which I'm fine with, Baldwin Provisions, Lettuce, and I just carried on with my event management company and my consulting space because frankly, cannabis owners in the state of Michigan owe me $250,000 when the market crashed. Yeah, true story. I didn't have any other option. And honestly, last year in August, I was ready to walk away from cannabis because I'd never seen such greed and such terrible business practices in my life. I took major losses in Cannabis 2023, but I'll tell you what, every one of my vendors is paid. Ask Spark in the Park if they are. And they're not. That's where I'm at. I'm sitting out here grinding this situation, paying my vendors and the cannabis industry in the middle of a pandemic where I deemed cannabis essential to make sure that everybody could operate. Stiff me out of $250,000 in 2 years. You have to make decisions at that point, and it's not like my government background, I can go get a new job. Yeah, Google me. I can't hide it anymore. I'm here. So I had to grind my business model, get creative after all those losses, and the state's got a failed business license. That's the bottom line. I feel bad for the equity applicants that applied for it because it's a farce. And that's why Spark wasn't successful. That's why CannaJam wasn't successful. You can't make money off of any of it. Now in Conference charging you 50 fucking grand for one event when I didn't touch a bit of product and I had 57 cannabis licensees on site for Cannabis, all of them having product liability at $1 million. So you mean to tell me I had to have $60 million plus in liability insurance and I never touched a ounce of weed as an event organizer? I had to
So
change the
that
business
brings
model
up
and grind
that
it
brings
out.
up
Alcohol is a hell of a
yeah.
revenue. Hell of a
Yep.
revenue stream. The state's forced us into this and people are screwed.
You're
Anybody
muted,
trying
Rich.
to run an event and everybody out there in the industry doing just gonna send a direct email so that the CRA doesn't know what the address is. And newsflash, have you guys not noticed the disciplinary actions? Events are coming next. How many
So
more
what's
bankrupt
the
companies?
difference from like being insured without alcohol versus with alcohol?
There is no difference. Alcohol is completely and fully accepted. I take a $2 million event policy out per event. It's the cannabis liability, and it's not even general liability, Bert. It's product liability.
The first thing that comes to mind, when it comes to alcohol being at cannabis events, and you were there. I'm glad you said you were there. I don't know if you witnessed it, but it was the THC Expo at the Rooster Tail, and they were serving alcohol. And to this day, that's the only event I've been to where there was an actual like physical altercation. Like there was two women fighting outside, and it was blatantly obvious that they were intoxicated.
Okay, let's put that into context with the off-site smoking and the fucking DEA raided that bitch and there were blonde guns on site.
But I mean, there was nobody fighting in the med tent. There was nobody fighting in the med tent.
I wasn't there. My staff was. I was back at the Rooster Tail and the cops swarmed the freaking entrance and we booked. It was a panic moment.
Were you indeed one of those women involved in the altercation, Connie?
I didn't know. I would have never thought it was you, Connie.
Not me.
No, but I'm just saying. I was
like, I don't get in trouble. I'm a compliance person. I'm out.
If the government,
I'm the first one out the door.
No, if these insurance companies, actually, had any idea about cannabis.
I agree with you, man. You would be putting that price tag on alcohol, but they're not. And that's the stigma, and that's my effort. There's a problem. How are the cannabis events ever going to be successful when you're literally getting raped by Conifer and you're getting raped by them? And the state doesn't care. And I'm not afraid to say it. Unlike all the paid lobbyists and all the groups and all the cool people in cannabis, I'm actually out here trying to pay my motherfucking mortgage. And there's a problem with the business model. So we have tons of people on Cannabis going, oh my God, you ruined it. Oh my God, this and that. Well, guess what, guys? I don't get a markup on the cannabis, but I can tell you what my wholesale margin is on alcohol. It's pretty spectacular.
Right.
What am I supposed to do as somebody sitting here throwing concerts? And that's what I'm doing, is throwing concerts.
That's I think the biggest point of contention that the chat and people as a whole are going to have is cannabis plus alcohol, because we know in place
cannabis events, Roach. We're not those people.
No, but we're just saying there's a lot of people out there that use cannabis to stay off of alcohol. That's
we also have beverages that are NA and cannabis infused, and they're separated to make sure that those people that are committed to NA, that are committed to their recovery, have a harm reduction model that gives them access and feels included. But if somebody's going to tell me that those people committed to their sobriety don't go and see Disturbed at Van Andel Arena, I'd like to look at them and say, I challenge you. I challenge you. I own a concert venue. I don't own a cannabis license or an alcohol license. I pull a 24-hour temporary nonprofit license for alcohol because it's an additional revenue stream, because the CRA doesn't allow anybody looked around to make money.
I mean, you said there's a wall in between the two sections, but you obviously can go in between them, right?
Well, we have an entire bicycle rack right down the middle of the venue. Cannabis. If I'm looking front of stage,
if you're consuming cannabis, you can't get alcohol, and if you're consuming
alcohol,
on the cannabis
side,
all right, that's what I'm saying.
If you're on the alcohol side, you can't smoke. It's right down the middle. You're either on one side or the other, and there's security guards running that entire. And it's not like a huge fence. It's a concert bicycle rack, and we've got 20 security guards down both sides. And we don't even have VIP anymore. It's all general admission. You sit on your side. If you want to smoke, if you want to drink, you got to go over to the other side. But you can't have your booze with you, and you can't have your weed with you, depending on what side you're on. Do you know that per the CRA, I can't even have a fucking food truck vending food in the cannabis area?
No,
what?
Yeah.
So I got to move them all over to alcohol and make all the weed people go over to alcohol, specifically the ones that are in recovery. That's not okay to me either.
No.
Like, the whole thing is screwed up.
So I see, Connie. I see you're in defense mode. So
no, I'm not in defense. I'm hyped. I'm happy.
No, but I'm gonna say this: like, it's a concert venue. The easiest thing to do would be to just maintain the alcohol license. The fact that you want to incorporate cannabis, I can see where that's like a financial benefit, and, trying to open up the community to more opportunities for entertainment. It's great, but it's like, where again is this? Is this venue? It's in Baldwin, Michigan. And like, what, if somebody is from the other part of the state, how would you describe that area? What is it near?
Baldwin, Michigan is an hour north of Grand Rapids, probably an hour north of Muskegon, half hour west of Big Rapids, 45 minutes south of Traverse City. It's actually centrally located. It's next to the most beautiful trout stream in the U.S., the Pure Marquette River. It's also the poorest community in the state of Michigan, because the Michigan Department of Corrections decided to shut down a prison about 5 years ago, and they're a predominantly Black community in a rural area. And so Baldwin has been disinvested, absolutely overlooked, and it's in this gorgeous area of the state, right up M37, right in everything that the West Siders love about Michigan, which is the nature. And there's plenty of recreation and tourism opportunity, and it's just a great place. What's great about this location in Baldwin is it's right off M37. Our partner's dispo is right on site, Lettuce. And it's got 27 acres of open property that was disheveled, dismantled, and abandoned. And we it was crazy because I went to the township supervisor and I was like, we want to put a concert venue here. He's like, you know what? That's crazy. We had somebody come here 10 years ago, wanted to do a concert venue, but they couldn't get the capital together. Well, we don't necessarily have the capital. We're bootstrapping it, but we're willing to try. And you know, what really happened was the municipality and the venue that we were at Softball World, it wasn't adequate. That's the other problem with these events and these municipalities. They're opting in and forcing you into these parks and things that don't have adequate power, adequate water, adequate Wi-Fi, adequate on-site parking. They're not concert venues. And so I'm tired of having a conversation with the city of Muskegon where we're like, well, during bike time, you guys can be on the loading dock behind our hockey arena along a 5-car highway. And we'll let the booze hounds just walk up and down the street in the social district with the $50,000, $75,000 bikes. I was like, I'm just not subjecting my payroll to that. And that's what happened. I had to make really aggressive decisions to find a better way to execute the business model, and alcohol's revenue stream, whether anybody wants to admit that or not. That's the tough part.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is. It's kind of like, in the middle of nowhere.
It is very much in the middle of nowhere.
I felt like, the chat is lit up, but like they've already said, I don't, but I'm gonna repeat, like this action, this venue is not like a threat to you guys because number one, you don't want to go out there. It's too far away.
Exactly.
And number two, it's like, the question was asked, what's more important, a cannabis or an alcohol venue? And
I just love live music, man. I just want to hear a concert, and I love putting on a concert for people who are having a nice time.
And like from one point of view, I get that. You know what I'm saying? Like, people want to come together. Some people want to smoke. Some people want to drink. Nobody's there to judge anybody. They're just there to have a good time. But I think why people are upset, it has little to do with you, Connie. It has more to do with, it just seems like one more thing, one more way that like cannabis is being taken from the community and being used for profit.
I understand that too.
To fill like a little niche of stuff, but like
the problem is we're not profitable if it's only cannabis, and the state has created a license structure that sucks.
I'm going to let you interrupt me in a little bit, but I want to make a point. Like, this is going to happen. It's going to happen in Baldwin and probably a couple other places real soon. Yeah. And it does suck that, there isn't just a cannabis venue where we could go see some national acts or national brands. But you know why? Because everybody's just gone off this recreational shit. Nobody has their fucking card. Like, if you don't have your card and you're pissed at Connie, I'm going to say fuck you for her. Because, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're part of the fucking problem. More than Connie. Go get your fucking card.
Caregivers are not renewing their shit too,
Shout
out to all the caregivers that are still locked into the program and doing their shit.
I mean, it's hard, guys. I mean, we have examples across this nation of med programs that were initiated and then citizen petitions came forward. And the problem is that I don't want to get stuck in the crossfire. I'm just trying to like have a good time and listen to good music. And frankly, if I go to Pine Knob, an hour, I wouldn't even say an hour, 25 minutes into the first set, people are smoking weed and drinking. So like, I don't get it. So are we just literally going to let cannabis consumers go in and violate the rules or the occupancy permits of venues like Van Andel and Little Caesars because it's a concert, or are we just going to find a place where we can
Man, we've been doing that shit for years, Connie.
And that's my point. And I'm not upset about that at
my
all. But my
first
point
fucking
is, why
concert,
is
I
everybody
smoked weed
tripped
at.
out about it? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, come sit in the summer sun, smoke a J, drink a beer. I don't really care. It's none of my business what you do and how you recreationally enjoy yourself. Listen to live music. I just want to put on good music and enjoy good music in the summer sun in Michigan. Like, this
Yeah.
isn't, I get all of it, and I know that everybody is upset about Cannabis having alcohol. Like, I get it.
No, I mean, not everybody, because there's both, you know, people who do both. You know, some people do take it hand in hand, but there's a lot of people out there that don't. You know,
And there should be a place for those people, but you got to get those cards. We got to
guys,
real
honestly,
simple.
if they get
When
their
Connie's
cards,
looking
that's a
at the
totally different
numbers, when
thing.
Connie's looking at the numbers, is this shit going to be profitable?
Yeah.
She looked at rec numbers and medical numbers. She looked at what are politicians leaning towards. She looked at what are the lobbyists leaning towards. And that's not even her fault. It's not like she's some fucking evil genius. She's a business. That's why we tell you guys. It's not just like we like to look at the cool
and
this is what it means. When you guys don't have your cards, this is what it means. Flat out.
And straight up, and like, I'm not trying to stick up for you, Connie, or anything, but
God knows.
No. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there that a lot of these companies, a lot of these corporate companies that have fucking quote unquote cannabis events that they don't even smoke at, that they serve all kinds of alcohol at. There's no fucking cannabis consumption unless it's out in the fucking parking lot of the hotel. And if you don't know who I'm talking about fucking Sensi. You know what I mean? There's plenty of other fucking companies out there doing the same fucking shit. And it's all these fucking corporate fucks.
It's bullshit. And it's not okay with me. Cannabis doesn't belong in a corner. And people that want to drink alcohol, we've been doing this shit for a century. And it comes to a point where I'm going to make sure that there's harm reduction and RA spaces and places for safety. We're going to give non-alcoholic alternatives so that you feel like you're drinking a seltzer. Jesus, like, we're trying. And I'm just trying to find a space where everybody can hang out. Yeah, it's in Buckfuck nowhere. I totally get it. And I totally get why everybody is so upset on the Cannabis side, because they adore it and they love that event. But at the same time, I still have to pay for artists, right? I still have to put those down payments down and can't walk away with hundreds of thousands of dollars in loss. You think Ludo was cheap last year? Fuck no, he wasn't cheap. The man performed at Super Bowl. He's headlining Electric Forest. Like, the man's not cheap. It was a marketing plan on my part. I knew what I was doing. I'm in for the long game. I knew I was going to take losses. It's part of the gig. I don't have $1 million investors. I'm not like the rest of corporate cannabis. I don't even have a cannabis license. I use other people's licenses. I'm bootstrapping the shit out of this because cannabis deserves a space to be no different than anybody that wants to drink a beer. Who the fuck am I to tell them they can't?
I'm not sure how other events in other states are. Like,
they're not allowed to. Michigan is probably the only one. That's what we're learning. Michigan is the only one with the temporary liquor license and the temporary event license. We're the only state. Why the hell wouldn't I capitalize on that? Come on, guys.
No, for sure. And like, there's people in the chat that are upset, and I feel their pain because they do hold cards. They do participate in the program, and not just in the technical sense, but the actual spirit of the program, the actual care of being a caregiver, the actual, you know, like, people actually have a condition. They really are patients, and those people deserve to be upset. But anyone who just wants to, like, speak up and talk some shit, because you're living, the American way. Like that's, I don't know. Should there be a place where cannabis users can go and smoke cannabis? Yeah.
That like
And
Spark and Canna Jam and stuff. Isn't that what that's supposed to be?
I mean, those are just concerts, I guess.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Like, somebody needs to tell me.
Here's the one thing I still don't understand.
Will you tell me, Adam?
Now, I understand how someone would go get a glass of their favorite drink because that's what they like, and they're enjoying a concert. But the weed at the events you're talking about, they don't have to be at that show to get that weed. That weed's at all these dispensaries, so they can get that weed anytime they want. Now,
I agree.
My question is, are you able to bring your own weed to one of these events?
I love you for asking that question. And I'm not searching anything you've got deep in you. Let's just put it that way.
Well,
you think I'm running around like a drill sergeant up in there trying to find a joint on somebody? No.
Right.
Like, we're not doing that. We're making sure nobody's got a weapon.
Yeah, no, let's try to turn a corner. Let's try to turn a corner with this.
We can turn a corner, and I'm sorry, the chat's man. I know that people love cannabis, and I get it, but goddamn, I'm not going broke over it.
Yeah,
and
no,
that's
for sure.
The bottom line.
But here's the question. New line of questioning. So you've already addressed the fact that Baldwin is a place with a crumbled economy. The industry that was there, which was correctional facilities, moved on. So like now it's
why do you think they moved on?
Right, imagine. So what is the social equity program there? What is what is this thing called again?
Grams and Jams.
Grams and Jams. What is Grams and Jams doing for the Baldwin community? Okay, because like the chat community here is fired up, but like really, it doesn't affect us. Like we weren't going anyways. We weren't invited. Why are we worried?
You are how are you not invited?
We are part of a greater cannabis community, and I would like to know, what is Grams and Jams doing for the Baldwin community to rebuild it, to make it a better place, even when Grams and Jams isn't happening? Because it's 5 shows you guys are doing this year so far, or is it 6?
5 shows. Yeah, we're not going to do any more than that.
All right. And to respond to a comment in the chat, they're totally having a country music thing with Grams and Jams.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you know what? One of the funniest things that happened was I had Luke Combs.
You tried to sidestep the question. What are you guys doing for the community?
I'm not sidestepping the question, but I don't want to forget about this because I got fucking high before I got on this show, and I get a little bit spacey, so stop fucking around. Thank you. Stop messing. Luke Combs manager and said, "Why is no country artist ever allowed at a cannabis event?" I had to step back a minute and think about that. Why isn't country allowed? We smoke weed. Then I started listening to that. What we're doing for the Baldwin community is we're dumping hundreds of thousands of dollars into that piece of property that has been absolutely abandoned for the better part of 15 years. We're also bringing at least 70,000 visitors to the Baldwin community, which, by the way, every person that stays in a tourism area, in a hotel or an Airbnb, pays 8% accommodations tax. That's just this year. The local businesses and all of the money that they're going to get when we bring in Blessing of the Bike, they're bringing in Blessing of the Bikes, but we're complementing it with a little bit more, gives them more reason to advertise for a local event that they deal with.
Oh, wait a minute.
We do have a nonprofit arm related to alcohol, and yeah, depending on what our numbers look like after losing almost $500,000 at Cannabis last year, we are definitely figuring out a way to make sure that we commit to the community beyond the immediate economic development. And yes, let me say it again. Cannabis lost $500,000 last year, and I'm probably the only one that lost the least. I would dare anybody else, any other festival, to let me know how much money they lost.
All right.
So we're digging ourselves out of a hole.
So, did you already ask her about this, Roach? About the BYO weed? Like, can you bring your own weed?
I asked about it.
Yeah, yeah, because somebody in the chat saying that they're free to use their personal marijuana in the privacy of their home, but on the grounds, the only cannabis permitted will be that which is purchased there.
Correct.
That's true for
the
true
CRA.
for all. Right. That's true for all.
That's a law. I
events.
can't get away from that.
That's
guys, I'm a compliance officer for 25 years.
I wouldn't talk about it. I would never mention it, and I wouldn't put it in my announcements in any way, shape, or form. It's
I don't hear what you stick in your woo-woos. I just have to have my security pat you down. I'm not the freaking pot police.
Right. No, and I mean,
you know me better
clearly,
than that.
Connie's about profits. So, you know.
Oh my
she's
God,
not
did
trying
you
to
really just fucking say that? I'm not about profits. I'm about paying my mortgage and being a small business owner.
No,
Yeah, because I'm loaded.
Yeah. You're taking
You
it the
do
wrong
know
way.
that half the cannabis community thinks I own Sparrow Hospital. None of that is true.
Damn, let me know
Just
if they
letting
can-
everybody know. We're just gonna flush.
What?
No, we do
Okay.
not own Sparrow Hospital. I know that's shocking.
Damn, I was gonna say.
What
But
up,
it was named after a big donation you made, right?
What's up, Connie?
I love you.
But no, like, Connie is not coming up with any of this shit on her own. It's not like she's sitting in the office making declarations on how to hassle patients and rec users about coming into her event. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could say, the argument I've heard is that
I hate characters.
These licensed brands that are vending in these venues,
they're not
don't
vending.
want people bringing in their outside weed because then they won't buy their weed.
Can you bring in a 12-pack to Little Caesars Arena?
No, exactly.
Okay, I'm a concert venue. I don't even own a cannabis license. Like, you can't bring a 12-pack into Little Caesars to go watch Drake. Why the fuck you think you're bringing in an eighth when you walk into my cannabis/alcohol venue? And that's just the bottom line.
But that's why I think that those things are the idea that these are
We've been doing that shit since this shit's been legal, though.
To meet all these different,
We're getting
corporations, I think people have to realize that these are people you can go see anytime.
Big fans doing it, right? Or a big cloud. There's 100 of them, right? There are plenty of events where med card holders can go and enjoy that experience. I'm not trying to be Clio. I'm not trying to be a High Times Cup. I'm not trying to do any of those things. I think that that's the point that's missing. I am a concert venue that is opted to serve weed and booze. It is for live music lovers. And I understand that med card holders are frustrated. I get it all, but I am not the entire industry. I just happen to be a woman that loves live music, that plays 18 instruments as an autistic savant. And I just love live music. And then I love cannabis, and I love the culture that live music and cannabis and frankly alcohol bring, because I haven't had a bad experience at any concert I've ever been to. And I'm from Muskegon. Like, summer celebration was a big deal. We took the entire 10 days off. We spent $3,000 on food and booze and tickets to go down and enjoy our community in the sun in West Michigan in the summer and listen to just really good music like Aaron Lewis a cappella with just a guitar, acoustic. The Leader of State. It was one of the best concerts I ever saw. For me, this is about loving music and making sure that everybody equally has the ability to sit in an arena and enjoy a live music venue. Cannabis should not be thrown in a corner, med or rec, period. And alcohol shouldn't be allowed to walk down the street, open container with their kids. At some point, there's an adult space for people to have an adult time. And I just don't think that the laws related to alcohol, I think they're too prolific. And I think that cannabis, they treat us like a dumpster fire.
In Royal Oak, they put on Arts, Beats, and Eats. And
House of Date did that, right?
Jonathan Witt, the producer, caught a lot of flack because last year he allowed them be on one side of a fence. This year he decided to put them in a dome. And the problem isn't that there's an area where people can go smoke at these type of events. The problem is that it's starting to become so normalized that
nonchalant.
People are walking all over the venue smoking weed, and that's not what they promised the city, of course, because the city never would approve that.
Exactly.
But that's what's going on at an event like that.
I'm going to throw something different to you, Adam. We went to Hoxeyville. I love everything that Dunegrass is doing at Hoxeyville. Hoxeyville is all ages, alcohol and cannabis. But I'll tell you what, I walk into this beautiful field of all this bluegrass in the Michigan summer sun. We're camping. We've got our RV. Dan and I are grooving, right? You know where cannabis is? On a 6-foot fence with blacked out scrim, blacked out on the left of the venue, up in the corner. Can't even smoke a J and watch the concert, and all the alcohol's just wide open. Wait a minute.
Well, that's my point. That's where. So as long as you have a fence around the alcohol, you can be anywhere within the fence. Now, cannabis should be treated the same exact way, except they want to claim you can't smoke in public. Well, is that open to the public, or is it
21 and up, open to the public?
No, but is it? There's a difference between public property and open to the public.
It's open to the public on private properties.
The state seems to be misinterpreting the concept of private property open to the public.
Correct. That is truth as well.
I see that as a big problem. Because
there are tons of problems. Director Hannah was supposed to put a work group together so that we could work those out, but he decided that that wasn't something he needed to commit to, as well as Robin Steiner. So neither one of them decided to follow through on their commitment that we were going to have a work group to get this worked out so that cannabis wasn't shamed even in public spaces when the license was pulled appropriately.
But they have... Again, and part of the problem is that they have different investigators, so nothing's equal or even or fair, and different inspectors.
Or objective.
Well, right, and I can make you awfully objective if I put the right amount of money in your hand. So
amen. It's pay to play from bottom to top, depending on who you talk to.
That's already been proven by Mr. Johnson. So.
Yes, sir. It carried on 100 different ways from there.
Yeah, but that's the game. I mean, that's how it's played.
I think we all knew that at some point.
My question is how the CRA, I cannot imagine, is going to allow a liquor license in the same address as
a dispensary. You said it's on the same grounds as a dispensary, right?
Correct. But it's a temporary liquor license under a nonprofit. And that's a totally different set of rules. And as long as the boundaries of the temporary cannabis and the temporary liquor license don't overlap, ask Smoke on the Water. They've done it 2 years in a row. Ask Oxyville. They've done it 2 years in a row. You guys think I'm the first person to do it?
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just surprised that the CRA doesn't have a problem with the mixture of alcohol
because they get paid to not have a problem.
The CRA has zero control over an appointed liquor control commission board. They want their money, right? The CRA is definitely getting their money. The CRA has no administrative authority. They would have to have the governor step in. That's an appointed state board. Like the CRA coming out claiming that they have any sort of regulatory rule over an appointed board, the Liquor Control Commission.
Well, no, not the liquor. They have their own.
They do, but the Liquor Control Commission isn't getting in the piss and max. They're like, yeah, pull your permit.
Well, I realize they don't mind, but the CRA has already said that they mind it.
Well, they can't do anything about it because the Liquor Control Commission continues to give the licenses.
Right. I'm just surprised that the CRA allows any cannabis sales at all. That's
what can they do? It's their rules. We got around them.
Well, I mean, just like you can smoke inside, all you got to do is play bingo, because they exempted it from the law when they wrote it. So,
and that's it. It's a matter of who can play in the gray the best, right? Like, I hate saying that, but that's what it is.
I see the CRA as not only the clearinghouse for the cannabis industry, but they do the licensing and they do.
No, you're absolutely keep talking.
You're absolutely correct. I just want to know what the reasoning is for the fucking food trucks to be on the alcohol side versus
the weed. How do you think, Bert? Call it out.
I don't know.
Well, because they're publicly
they'll sell out.
Cannabis might get into food, you might get high.
The food trucks will sell out because it's on the stoner side. Is that what you're saying?
No, I've had law enforcement officers on site at Cannabis looking at me saying my law enforcement officers cannot be in the consumption areas because they're going to get a contact high.
Why would
I'm in an open air venue and you mean to tell me that you're coming at me with this?
They have to guard.
It's the stupidest shit in the world. No, they're afraid that the weed smoke is going to get into the food and poison people.
Oh my God.
It's the most, guys, I'm an emergency manager. This is the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, I cannot explain how dumb any of this is. Why can the food trucks only, the whole thing is asinine. Did you guys know that there was $2.08 million in fines levied for late annual financial statements just in 2023 by the CRA?
Yeah, but those are their rules.
$2.08 million.
But that's their rules. That's how stupid it is.
It is asinine.
Listen, the industry was supposed to fail. They then allowed caregivers to supply weed to the industry. That saved the industry.
Amen.
The rules make no sense. And they were written by a bunch of people that don't use the product and don't have any concept of the product.
I agree with you.
You know, if I'm going to do a fireworks show at an event, I'm going to hire a pyrotechnics guy. I'm not going to do it myself.
No, we would all die.
No, I mean, I've done it. It's not hard, but I'd still hire the pyrotechnics guy. You know why?
Because they're an expert.
Because he comes with the license. And if you're going to shoot shit up in the air, people are going to see that. But we've been
Oh
through a
yeah,
raise.
it's an outdoor event. Will there be cigarette smoking allowed?
Yes.
Oh man, I'm a
There will
cigarette
be.
smoker, but
Well, what are you gonna do? Who? Okay, so
what
I
about
can't
all
have
the
a cigarette
cigarette
smoker, but I
smoke?
can
What
have a
about
weed smoker.
no?
Like,
Wait,
guys,
what about all
where
the
does the line
cigarette
draw?
smoke?
You won't let me know what the rules
What
are.
about all the cigarette smoke that gets into the food?
What about all the
What
weed
about
smoke that apparently gets in the food? Like, you don't
what
have to
about
tell
the
me how
people?
asinine
Wait a
this
minute.
shit
Wait a minute.
is. Like, I'm living this bitch daily. I was like,
One
this is the
question.
dumbest shit I've ever seen, and I've worked for
What
the
about
Department
the
of Homeland
people?
Security. This is dumb.
What about the people
What?
who only want to drink? Will they
They
have to
sit
go
on
to
the
the
alcohol
cannabis
side.
side? Will they have to go to the cannabis side to have a cigarette?
You know what? In open air venues, you don't have to police that with
Oh,
cigarette
so
smoke.
you can smoke wherever.
Yeah, I don't have to police that. It's unless I want to put a designated smoking area, but the cannabis users would go fucking ballistic. So I'm obviously not doing that, and I'm not going to pit cigarette smokers against the cannabis smokers.
I
We
mean,
smoke. We
I've
smoke
God
been,
weed. We
damn!
smoke
What?
weed. We smoke weed in the smoking area at the ballpark.
yeah, definitely.
So if
Definitely.
you have a spliff, I
So-
gotta kick you over to the tobacco
No,
smokers area with the weed.
when you go to the smoking area at the ball game, you become everybody's friend.
Everybody's
Everybody
friend.
Nobody should have to
Oh,
do that either.
what are you smoking over there?
Well, no, do I have to smell the spliff to make
I
sure that it's not a
smell
tobacco mixed with weed? Like, come on.
No,
This is
fuck
an
that.
open air concert venue, and that's why it won't ever work in
Oh,
an
no.
indoor like a Little Caesars or
Well,
anything else a van handle.
It could if they decided to handle the air properly.
Well, it
Just
could,
like you can-
but I'm
Just
not
like you
taking on
can
the world
smoke a
like that.
cigar and you can smoke a cigar in a casino, standing
Yeah.
next to a guy. A guy could be smoking a cigar and you never smell it because they handle the air properly.
I absolutely agree with you. My problem is that I'm not taking on every goddamn person in this world
I'm
with a
not saying you
regulatory
should. It's not about you. It's about the ridiculousness of the law.
It's silly, Adam. I all of it is silly. And this is why I stood in front of Hannah and I stood in front of everybody at the MICIA. And I was like, yeah, we need a work group. I want to have discussions about this. You got how many people buying into the propaganda of this license with social equity for this event because it's the only thing that they can access without capital. And it's literally costing hundreds of thousands of dollars just to put it on. It's bullshit. It's a whole spiel. It sucks, guys.
What's the name of the dispensary again?
It is Baldwin Provisions. They just did their DBA as Lettuce. They're brand new.
I remember when we had.
It's not a branch of Skyman.
No, asswipe. It's not a branch of Skyman.
They might carry
No,
their
fuck
products
around and
though.
find out.
But is there gonna be any companies there?
Yes,
Like,
there's gonna be lots of companies there that you guys aren't gonna like. But you know what's really great? We're all blocked off at MCP. I can't even post in that motherfucker, thanks Harry Barash. So we all got ousted out of that bitch. We must be onto something.
I don't get blocked from anything. I'm involved in all of these.
Sure, you can post at MCP, Adam.
Yes.
You can.
I can do anything I want.
I dare you right now to post Cannabis and MCP. See what happens.
No, I'm not messing with those people. But I can post if I want.
You can't put Medical Monday. You can't put Bert Roach or I on any of that.
I could have him as a guest next week.
Okay.
If he'll do it. I've talked.
Yeah, if he'll do it.
No, we good on this side of the tracks. We're fine being ousted by the community. It's not a big deal.
I mean, I would never deal with with Hannah. First of all, he's a
you know what? He's a cop.
he's a
You
cop.
can't get around that.
I don't think he should be allowed to have that position. I don't think that. Matter of fact, I have the same simple question I have for all cops. And here's why you're a dirty cop. I'll explain to him why he's a dirty cop or a bad cop. And that's because he never wrote the badge number of a fellow officer down on a complaint form for violating the law or breaking the rules or violating the law. And you're not going to tell me that a guy's worked for any length of time and hasn't seen that. And I'm not just talking about the shit I saw on TV.
No,
I mean,
I know, but Hannah,
okay,
I
so-
don't know that Hannah was ever street cop or on patrol. He was a data analyst for the state police.
Okay.
He was never, he was like me. We were on the back end yes, and I will admit, yes, I worked for the state police. I'm not gonna lie about that.
So-
like that's
so
who I
did
am. 20 years worth.
He was one of those guys that used to review the computers after they took him out of the house. So my question for him is,
Yes, he is.
question for him is, did you put anything on my computers?
No,
So now when I plug my
absolutely
computers in, you're going to track everything I say and do? Because I got a box in the other room full of 8 laptops that have never been plugged in since the Michigan State Police had them in their possession. They've never been plugged in.
Can we burn them?
No, we'll have somebody else remove the data from the hard
I think
drive,
that's a good plan.
and then we'll get
Berg,
rid of the machines. But
Berg,
What?
you gotta remove the shit from the machines. He wasn't even paying attention.
no, sorry.
Vice talk.
But
So
the point is, you never know what these guys do, and
And you can't.
the fact that he worked for the state police is a problem. He shouldn't be involved in this.
You can't get mad at people for their prior careers. I used to work for the state police.
I don't get mad at them for their prior careers.
No,
get
he's
mad
acting like a cop right now. It's
I
not
get mad
good.
at them for their prior behavior.
I didn't think he was gonna act like this. I gotta be honest. I'm not gonna lie. I'm shocked by it. He's ruining people's lives, boys and girls. I've never in my life seen regulatory reprehension like this in my life. I work for a lot of federal, state, and local authorities in regulatory positions. I've never seen anything like this in my life. He's ruining people, small businesses, people that are good people. And I'm fine to tell him to his face, as much as I'm saying it right here, I've never seen this in my life. And I've worked for multiple federal, state, and local agencies. I've never seen a regulatory authority with so much overreach, so much power, and so much retribution. What it is a moratorium. They know that they don't have the votes to rectify the citizen-initiated ballot, which they shouldn't rectify it, right? Because we voted for it. I voted for it. We all voted for it. And Robin can't get a moratorium through because it would take 3/4 of the legislature. And so the only way you implement a moratorium to stabilize the market for those that paid to play is limit the licenses in some way other than limiting them through legislation and administrative rules. So you guys can do that math, just a slight insight as to what's going on. But yeah, no, you can't trust any of it. I have people that call me every day and there's no getting them out of the duping that they've received. And I'm telling you that you already know who's not on the disciplinary list. I would challenge you guys to cross-reference the CRA disciplinary list. You can figure out who's pay to play. It doesn't take much to assess it.
But that's a game. Everybody needs to pay.
You're damn right, Adam. The only people making money are attorneys, CPAs, receivers, and the state. It's got the biggest budget in the state's history.
That's because not enough people are paying off the guys in the state. I mean, you can say that's not the way it's supposed to work, but it
That's
is
how it's
the way
working.
it's supposed to work. How
That's how it's working. And then on top of that, they're denying due process within that. We've literally gone right back to the way that it was before that it was legal in 2008. It's amazing to me. It's terrible. I'm watching people lose their lives. And I'm talking about secure transporters, not like Scottman. I'm talking about like a young guy and his family, and his dad put his retirement in, and he's literally grinded for the last 3 years, and he's my client, and I helped get him through. And one AFS fee for being late after he called every CPA on the CRA's list, and nobody would take him because he wasn't a big enough client, and he got nailed with $10,000 and another $36,000 in renewal fees and an AFS and all of the state and federal taxes. He's done. Like, what?
Well,
I thought this was capitalism. Last time I checked, I didn't know it was communism.
Truth be told, the one license that does not need to exist and should not exist is the transporter's license. Okay, that was a scam and a con in order to put money in certain people's pockets. So
the whole thing is a dumpster fire. I just it makes me sad as a business consultant, and I don't represent loon guys. I don't represent big companies. I represent Michigan business owners, small businesses. They're dying. And we were dying last year. I had to make a decision. And we made a decision, and I pivoted because I still think that people that smoke weed have a right to listen to live music. It's not okay with me. You don't get to put cannabis in a corner. And on top of that, if the cannabis companies would actually get it, us women that pee our pants because we can't inhale, we're actually a really big part of the industry. You should probably market to us. But they don't. If you walk into a dispo, it's all male marketing. The whole thing is bizarre to me. Like, I sit back and it's not normal. And people are losing their lives over it at this point. Like, some of them are ha funny, but then there's small businesses that are literally getting destroyed by the CRA and they don't care. And I see inconsistency. I submitted 2 curbside delivery policies. No shit. One dispo was in Traverse City. One dispo was in Dowagiac. I had one inspector say the curbside was perfect. The other said, no, you need to alter it. And we went back and forth for 3 weeks. How is that possible? Explain that to me. I'm a compliance officer by trade, by profession, by bachelor's degree. And I'm listening to 2 CRA inspectors argue over a curbside delivery. One approved it, the other one didn't. And oh, by the way, if I submit it with their step 2, an inspector doesn't review it. Like, it's just, it sucks. It sucks. I don't even know how to handle it. So we had to pivot. And that's why we created Grams and Jams, and we have a venue. Because I'm not going to be the best at the CRA. Nobody should.
Yeah, no, I mean, let me try saying it this way. Okay, so Connie's a business consultant. If it was feasible, if it was possible to open a concert venue that was strictly cannabis, and the only cannabis in there was going to be caregiver cannabis, and you could bring your own stuff in. If that was a thing, she would probably do it. You know, that the problem is that's not even a
weekend,
thing.
But I can't.
That's not even a thing that people can do. And like, you know, there's obviously a lot of stuff to be criticized and to be upset about and to be passionate about. But unless like we start getting some type of political leverage, unless we start getting some W's in the book, then you can't really be mad at Connie or people like Connie, because the system is there, you know, just because she's good at playing in the gray or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like, This is the system.
These rules.
This
I'm
is the
explaining
stuff.
them.
Everybody who let their card lapse, like this is what it means.
No,
You know
they
what I'm
need to
saying?
renew their cards. This system is dying. And if you don't think that my licensees as a consultant with Sparrow are like, yeah, don't renew my med license, that was going to happen. We can look at other markets. It was going to happen. And yeah, Roach is right. I'm here to tell you, I would love every Saturday to do a caregiver farmers market at this venue. The state doesn't allow me to do it. I have been screaming from the rooftops, why can't we move cannabis to what the food system laws look like in the state related to agricultural product? Why can't caregivers be part of this incubator entrepreneurial farmers market system that exists in agriculture in the state of Michigan? FYI, just a notice to all the growers and processors, MDARD's about to come to you and make sure you pull the wastewater permit. That's a $25,000 fine if you didn't, just a heads up. So we've got a bunch of regulators running around like cops, and this is an agricultural product. And I don't know why I can't have caregivers at a farmer's market as incubators for craft growers or independent growers, just like we do with food. But nobody wants to listen to me because and it's not even about me, it's just about logic. But, you know, you got boards and people paid off, and we already know where that goes. Rick Johnson is just one layer of that nightmare. There's a reason I'm not a member of associations. There's a reason why I haven't been public for about a year. You guys are the first people to get me publicly in 18 months. And there's a reason for that, because the system is broken and it's a bunch of crooks. It's all pay to play from top to bottom. And I don't even know a solution. It's not even about caregivers and patients anymore. It's literally about how do you make sure that weed is affordable, safe, and accessible to everybody? And the fact that there's a bunch of libertarian cannabis lovers, including in the chat group, because most of us are libertarians, right? But we're just allowing the government to take this much control over this cash crop. I simply made some decisions to make sure that I could pay my mortgage as a business owner and make sure that cannabis wasn't put in a corner. The reality is that cannabis doesn't care. And the caregivers aren't renewing their licenses, and the med patients aren't renewing their med cards. I don't know what to do anymore. It's sad to me because you guys are the people that taught me that I could use cannabis to treat my autism. And what I remember cannabis to be at the THC Expo and at Clio when I got so fucking high off of Medi Eddie that I passed out in my hotel room. But anyway, that I don't even know what that industry is anymore, because half those people hate me because I'm a narc for the state, but I'm not. You know, I'm just a compliance officer trying to do my job, and I'm just somebody trying to love live music and make sure everybody can listen to it together. But there's a problem, and we all have to get together regardless of our background. If we love cannabis, whether medically or recreationally, we have got to get together, because this state is destroying people's lives. And there are powers well beyond us, and we can't do anything about it. Too much money, man. LA Insurance, Bell Tire. I mean, I can list them all off. How much more $1 million companies we need to list off?
Yeah.
And I'm begrudging to the system. If you don't think that some of our sponsors are going to be pissed off by my truth, I get it. But you already know me. I'm not going to lie about it either. The truth is the truth. And how are any of us going to be successful? How are caregivers going to be successful? How are med patients going to get RSO, or pediatric patients with autism like me as an autistic adult going to be able to get access to their medication if it all goes away? I don't know what the answer is. And I know that everybody is pissed at me, and I get it, but I am in this fight just as much as you guys are. I may not have the longevity that you do, but Things are not okay right now. The state shouldn't be. The state shouldn't be able to set a market. And
It fucked everybody, man. And like nobody feels sorry for anybody because they're, quote unquote, on the other side. And
the other side ain't pretty.
What can people do? What can people do to change things from being this way? I mean, we can sit here and point fingers and name call and point out all the obvious flaws and all the obvious, bullshit, but it's like, what's the alternative? It's not like, you can have
because you guys have been here longer.
It's not like there is a place for cannabis to exist in a way that any of us would approve of.
I agree.
So what do we do about it, people? We just be mad and talk shit in the chat? Not like we got to do stuff. Start with getting those cards, man. Like those numbers are down bad.
No, they're terrible. I can tell you all of our clients, and I don't do that much consulting anymore because I'm too busy chasing these effing. I would rather consult than do these events, but cannabis screwed us. I look at it and it's every man for themselves. They're slitting each other's throats. Look at people that were best friends that came out of Lansing as caregivers, and they hate each other now in the commercial space. They're slitting each other's throats. Like what happened to the community that is cannabis?
No, it's the community just keeps separating and separating and separating because like now there's caregivers who are still there, who are still committed. And, people have not renewed. They're moving away from that. Like, it's not good, man. We became an essential business because everybody stood together. We were all from different worlds and we all said, hey, this is how we make money. And somewhere along the line, the greedy got greedy and tried to cut people out and ended up cutting themselves out. Now everybody's painted into a little corner. And what do we do?
I don't even know. I don't even know how to get us back to 2020. The 2020 at Stavros's place, like having a conversation about how we protect everybody's rights. Hash Bash, you were there, Adam. Like that was the first time you and I met in person. I don't even know. And there's the fact that people's due process is getting violated in all of this. I get it. And I understand all the context of all the fights and all of the people in all the history, but man, to bring it back to exactly what it started as in the commercial space, nobody that voted for Prop 1 wanted that. I believed in something different. But I don't know how we get on the same page when we're all still a caregiver versus. That's why I was like, I don't have a license. Like, it ain't me. Don't get mad at me. I just love
I mean, hey, you know what? Like, there's one thing that I liked. What I forget her name, but she's from the MICIA. Do you know her name?
Robin Schneider.
Yeah, well, she once said, she's not for caregivers. So why should caregivers be for corporate? I mean,
I would watch how that place moves and make sure that that's the case, because words matter in my mind, and follow through matters. But whoever pays your bills is who you do your bidding for, and I promise you, it ain't a caregiver. Not when Jars is on her board, and you can look at the rest of the board. I mean, that's no disrespect to Robin. She's a paid lobbyist. I'm not paid by anybody but myself.
No, I didn't mean any disrespect.
No,
You
no
know,
disrespect at all. I
yeah.
was the one that was a bit disrespectful. I'm just letting you know that.
No,
Yeah, no, that was totally a thing. Like people wanted to hold Robin responsible for all the business, all the licensed business being done. And it's like, well, no, like this is the system. This is what was voted for. She represents
Doing her
the
job.
commercial aspect. And
businesses,
why
yeah.
wouldn't she? Like,
No, and this is by no means a knock on the MICIA. It's the system they created, right? You pay in for what you read, right? And it, I don't know that the MICIA is any different than the MCMA. They just set different priorities, right? The MCMA wanted to get rid of caregivers. The MICIA was like, we're for givers,
supposedly,
but they're still going to do their bidding for their
Yes.
boards. The rest of us are SOL, man. I watched it all happen. I was like, hey, where's the work group? Yeah, no, that was all. And it fell by wayside. Well, clearly nobody really cares. And I think that it's shocking that it's the highest, coveted social equity license. And then I'm hearing about people that are backed by massive brands in multiple states and their dispos are shutting down in Detroit. What are you talking about? Oh, well, I need to do
no, I mean,
equity
Detroit
investment.
just went wreck, so they could give a fuck
Well,
less
but the
about
market's trash now
medical.
because Centerline existed and everybody else. Now you got to fight for those existing consumers that are going to places other than Detroit. And it's no different than going to your pharmacy. Like, how do you get that consumer over to your place? It's impossible. And Detroit did that to them. But now those people that are 51% owners that were under the homegrown fund, I just can't believe that all of these governments have allowed this to happen. It's shocking to me as a government person. It's shocking. And as much as everybody gets mad at me about cannabis, there are so many other problems that we have. And I just want a place where everybody's welcome. That's all I care about, because I wasn't a typical pot smoker, and I'm not. And I'm not saying that that's a negative connotation. I'm an autism patient that uses it to treat insomnia, and I need it. And I thank God for cannabis and meeting people at the THC Expo and getting my card. Like, I'm a med patient, and it bothers me that we're watching all of this go down because there are people ostracized on all sides of it. And I don't know how we get together, because I can tell you that I'm sure that there's 100 caregivers in the chat that hate me. And I get that too. I'm not a great personality for everybody to get along with, but
No, they don't hate you. They might just disagree with what you're doing, but they don't hate you.
It sucks, guys. I mean, I look to you guys for insight into the community and the culture. That's what you guys represent. And it's just, it's tough. And I don't know what the answer is. And we all got to get together or everybody is going to be screwed. And it's going to be Philip Morris 101 up in here. Basically, they're all consolidating already. What do you do? And people are pissed at me that I opened up a concert venue for everybody to be at? No, man, we've got bigger problems. Like, the system put me in that position.
So, what do? You open up Grams and Jams. You're doing, what are the 5 events you guys are doing this year?
Yeah, so we've got 5 events. So Blasting of the Bikes is a super cool initiative that happens in Baldwin over the weekend of May 18, and they have like 55,000 bikes, and there's a Catholic priest that blesses them for the season to make sure they're safe. And we decided to throw a concert alongside that. So that's May 18th, and it's called Bikers, Buds, and Brews. Then on June 14, we have a Grams and Jams country night, which will have alcohol and cannabis, but it's country themed. Our lineups are dropping in the next week and a half. July 13th is
No
Cannabis.
exclusives? No exclusive lineup drop?
Not yet. I have a couple more contracts, but I definitely come back on for the exclusive lineup drop.
Oh. Okay.
See me work.
All right. All right.
And then we have a bluegrass night on August 23rd. And then on September 21st, we have Croptoberfest, which is celebrating the harvest. The cannabis harvest.
But you're gonna have some national names, big name entertainment stars, or
Mug, we had Ludacris last year. You think that I'm just gonna disappoint everybody? I can tell you right now that we are going to drop the lineup for Bikers, Buds, and Brews by Friday. I can tell you that the Cannabis headliner will be as big as Luda. Probably targeting a younger generation. I know it's old people, you know how that goes. We heard a lot about that. Like Luda was washed out and then he showed up at Super Bowl, but it's fine. Everybody's a critic at this point. You know, what's really cool about this is that, you know, if you buy tickets right now at gramsandjams.com, you can get to every concert for $36. Like there's a season pass. It's $36 a concert. We priced this to make sure that everybody had access to good live music because I don't know, anybody check the Usher tickets lately? They're pretty expensive. You can get a season pass for $162 right now. You guys always have a media pass. You never take me up on it, but it's fine. I know, I get it.
do we gotta go
And
through
then
the
Cannabis on its
formality?
own right now is $63.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Are we
We're
gonna
not
get our
have to go
bag
through any
searched?
kind of formality. I figured if it was ever a thing, we would just
No, when you're
Are
my
they gonna-
guest, you get to go backstage and enjoy
Are
yourself.
they gonna check our camera bag? Huh?
You come backstage with me.
Can I bring my rig?
Adam, back me up.
Can I bring my rig?
You
Like
can
we get-
bring whatever you would like. You are my personal guest.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah, he gets better treatment than us, folks. We gotta
No,
stand
I
in
said
line.
all of you are my personal guests.
Oh.
You guys have had
Oh.
passes, all access passes every year. You just didn't want to show up. It's fine. Not a big deal.
Too far of a drive for me.
The fuck? It's not that far of a drive.
Yeah, it's pretty far.
pretty
We
far.
go over to the east side all the time. I can literally
that's-
choose between
that's-
Detroit and
that's-
Chicago and end up in Detroit more than I do Chicago, and I don't know why.
That's a lesson you can learn. I'm happy to teach you.
What's
People
that?
from Detroit will not drive 3 to 4 hours to go
They
somewhere.
will not.
But hold on. But people
I'll
from
go that way to see my boy KK. Shout out to SOB Labs.
yeah, KK is different.
So, Berg, if I need to bring KK, then you'll be over.
SOB.
The point is, people from 4 hours out won't drive to Detroit.
I get it.
So it's something that Michigan, you always have to fight that whole.
Well, I mean, you guys
audience
have such a
of-
condensed population over there. It's so easy for somebody to hop over to Ann Arbor, Ipsy, or North, and I get that. But at the same time, has anybody looked at the east side? It's kind of ugly. Like, it's beautiful over
kinda
here.
ugly.
Yeah.
What?
The east side is not necessarily as beautiful as the west side. I mean, we do have Lake Michigan and stuff.
You got stuff on the east side.
I think Lake Huron would be offended.
I'm sure.
Lake St. Clair would be pissed.
I would love if you know what, the only place I would move to the east side is probably Lake St. Clair. But we have sand dunes over here, and our beaches aren't rocky, and our water's warm, and it's weird. Like, straight down the line, 75. Like, I would rather go to Chicago than Detroit. Unfortunately, I have to go to Detroit for work, but we prefer to go to Chicago. It's a weird thing. And then people from Detroit are like, oh, it's 4 hours away. I'm like, it's 2 hours and 35 minutes down 96.
Right.
What are you talking about?
Chicago. Hey, the west side of Michigan belongs to the city of Chicago.
Oh my gosh, listen to you.
It has for a long time.
It actually has. I grew up in Whitehall. Well, I originally grew up in Grand Rapids and then moved to Whitehall, but Al Capone had a whole ass settlement.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was the whole thing. I mean, and I get it, but it's hard for us to travel over to Detroit, but it's only 2 hours and 45 minutes. I promise. It's not that far.
Yeah, shout out to
And we have
Anthony in the chat.
Airbnbs that give you free weed, so you can always come stay at our Airbnbs with free
No,
weed.
shout out to our boy Infinite. If you ever want to go to an event we're going to, man, you're more than welcome to come with us, bro.
Yeah.
I've had all access passes sitting at the box office since I started doing this, and you all know it.
All right. Well, what sets this venue apart from other venues aside from cannabis? It can't just be cannabis. What else do you guys got going on out there?
You know, it's funny. We are not necessarily setting ourselves apart other than we make an affordable concert ticket and we want everybody there. And I would dare see any other outdoor open concert venue put on a season pass for $36 a ticket, including Cannabis. Like, our goal is to make it affordable.
All right.
And with good music. Like, we're not putting on bullshit acts at all.
Okay, hold on.
What?
When is the biker thing?
It is May 18th.
What,
Do you have a motorcycle?
Is that a Saturday or something?
Yeah, it's a Saturday.
I'm gonna bring my 10-speed.
18,
Is that cool?
19.
That's a long fucking bike ride, Bird.
So, Connie,
I'm gonna put it in the back.
May 20th.
What?
May 20th.
Yeah.
I want you to come back on the show.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about what happened. Was there violence? Was it chaos?
We're gonna have a
Did the
betting
world
thing.
come to an end when cannabis and alcohol were side by side, separated by a bike rack?
Yeah.
And you gotta be
I want to
honest.
bet on how many fights happen on which side.
You know,
Yeah.
I will give you guys a stat.
And if they were intoxicated off of alcohol, I want the numbers.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
We had 8,000 people
I
in
need-
Cannabis the first year.
We're saying it now.
12,000 the
We're
second year.
saying it right now on the show. We need the
Hold on,
numbers
hold on,
after
hold on.
the event.
The only
We want-
issue that happened was Sensi
Connie, hold
Magazine
on.
ran out of
Before you
gas in
say
front of
another
our
word.
driveway.
Before you say another word, not just you, but also your head of security.
Yeah,
May
Chad,
20th.
well, come on. Absolutely.
May
I
20th.
could have had him on tonight. No, chat legit. The only
We don't wanna
issue we
jinx
had
anything.
was Sensi Magazine ran out of gas in front of the freaking driveway.
We're not going to jinx anything.
You're not
We don't want anybody to get hurt. But
Nobody's
May
getting
20th,
hurt.
you guys are locked in. Show up
I'll be there,
and,
May
and let
20th,
us know what happened.
And Chad will be on there with me.
Okay.
We got it. I appreciate you guys so much. This was a great conversation. There's major
Wow.
issues going on.
So we go get drunk and start a bunch of fights.
Well, you know what, Adam, I will absolutely rally you on for all of that. I'm like, oh, that's Adam. He's fine. Just leave him be.
No, and you guys can't do any of that. Oh, we can't for the privacy and all of that. No, we want numbers. We're gonna look at the.
Know
We're gonna look
that.
at some
Come
tape.
on, it's me. If I
We
tell you
wanna
I'm
look
going
at
to
the
be on a May
numbers.
20, I told you I'd be on a May 20, and Chad will be there with me.
Real numbers.
Real numbers.
Okay.
I promise. You guys know I'm
Excellent.
real shit. I don't lie.
There's a weed story on Channel 4.
There's
Oh
weeds on
shit!
Channel
No, yeah,
4.
we didn't even get into any news this week.
Are they getting raided?
Nope,
Well, that's surprising. Everybody's getting raided these days.
not in Detroit. They're handing out.
But you know what's always news here on Medical Mondays, Roach?
Man, what I've been saying the whole damn fucking show, man. The whole show I've been saying. Detroit Certification Center. Get your cards, people. It's quick, it's easy, 10 minutes or less. DetroitCertificationCenter.com or Detroit Cert Center on social media. 248-275-6707. Call, text, get in touch some way, somehow. Get the people in touch. Whoever you know that needs one, get them to Detroit Cert Center or any of the other thousands of certification locations around the state. There's no excuse.
None whatsoever.
Is there a discount for people if they go to your event with a medical card?
You know what? I'm willing to talk about that, and I will implement that tomorrow.
Damn.
You have a med card? If I have a med card, we'll figure it out. I got to figure out how to validate, but I will absolutely give them a discount.
Yeah.
They should get a discount on their meds too if they gotta buy it there. They gotta buy it there.
You're killing me. Oh no, they actually do through the dispo. No, wait a minute. If they have a med
Oh,
card,
all right, cool.
it's
They
just
don't gotta
21
pay
and up. We
tax.
can't. It's a rack event, so we can't let anybody under 21. But no, the
I
dispo
wouldn't
already
quite
gives
call
them a
it
med discount.
meds, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have some kind of announcement or banner encouraging
Absolutely
people
do
to
that.
get
I'll
their
make
medical
sure
card.
that we have a med discount. No, for sure, guys. Thank you for that
Mhm.
feedback. I was silly to not think about that, but the dispo lettuce / Baldwin provisions has a med discount of 10%. So getting rid of that excise tax. So no, I will definitely give a med discount on ticket holders. 100%.
oh. All right, y'all. Well, do you want to shout out your socials or any way people want to
Yeah,
get a hold
no,
of you?
absolutely. People can go to Grams and Jams, gramsandjams.com to get tickets. Cannabis at Cannabis Fest is on Instagram and Facebook. Grams and Jams at Grams and Jams is on Cannabis, Instagram, TikTok. I'm sorry, we have too many social media handles at this point. And then it's cannabisfest.com. So no, please check us out. It's an affordable ticket. We want everybody to be there. I know that it's tough and I know that it's changed and I know that it looks different, but we're just trying to find a reasonable space for everybody to enjoy good music.
Oh, show. And much love to everybody who stuck through to the end. And
No, thanks you
make sure
guys
you
for the
hit that.
time.
Yeah, for sure. Make sure you hit that like button and huge shout out to all the awesome people who made this happen.
Yeah, that chat was lit tonight, man. A lot of great comments on both sides. But the team, man, the team, Native Made 313, Michigan Terp Farms, Nug Abduction Extracts, Tiki Madman, SOB Labs, and Tree Street Packaging. Wouldn't be possible without y'all. Much appreciated to them and the community, man. The people who tune in, the people who don't tune in, the people who fucking smoke weed, the people who eat weed, all of that stuff.
Even the people who tuned in just to see how many people are here to talk about it later.
Right.
Shout out to the people
still numbers, baby. Still numbers.
Haters gonna hate. It doesn't matter. Snoop out.
All right, y'all. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. And once again, Much love, yo.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you.
Peace.